We just received 2 new hate items, so in this video I want to talk about those 2, explain what they actually do and on which Pokemon they can be used on. And first, how do we even obtain these 2 new hate items? We go towards the shop, very straightforward, and then we go towards the Eos Emporium, and you can already see them down here. You can just click on it, and we're gonna be brought towards the hate item shop. Of course, you can see how much gold I have. I'm just gonna buy them with gold. It doesn't really matter what I spend it on, but you probably should buy those with tickets. I would not recommend them buying with gold. I just have this many. Alright, new head items unlocked. Let's go towards the head item category. Of course, you're going to have to level them up as well. But what they pretty much do is they reduce healing after you hit a Pokemon with your moves. So, all head items. Let's go down here. Gonna have the Cursed Incense and the Cursed Bangle. First one, when attack-based damage is dealt to opposing Pokemon, their HP recovery effect is weakened by 20%. And of course, once you upgrade, it goes up to 30% on level 20. That's the thing you just need, is level 20. Doesn't have to be level 30. And you reduce recovery by 30%, which means that self-healing and also healing received by allies will be reduced. So if a Clefable heals a Trevenant who just got hit by this item, then the Trevenant is also gonna take less healing from a Blissey or from a Clefable as well. And this is just always just on any attack-based damage that is dealt from either basic attacks or from physical attack damage. So let's say an Egg Slash, he can proc it on Sacred Sword, and he can also proc it on his basic attacks. And we have the special attack version of it, of course, as well. Same, 30%. And this is on all special attack damage that comes from abilities and from basic attacks as well. So, on someone like Venusaur, it only works on the boost auto attack, but it works on Pedal Dance, Sludge Bomb, Giga Drain, Solar Beam, Unite move, right? Not on the 2 basic attacks before the boost auto attack, because they are physical attack, right? But on the boost auto attack, it's going to work as well. And on someone like Glaceon, on Glaceon it's every single basic attack, right? Is going to proc this item. So, how good are these items really? I think they're going to be very, very good actually. 30% healing is a lot. Reduce. But the question is, you know, the problem with Unite is you don't know who you play against, right? So in that, we're just going to do some theory now. So let's talk about which Pokemon it's good against and how much of a chance you really have, right? Because you don't see the enemy team comp before loading into a game. So right now, we have a pick rate of 63% for Mewtwo, and it's good against Mewtwo. So that's the first Pokemon it is good against. It's very good against Blissey as well. Blissey, of course, has a lot of healing for allies. So if you hit any of the allies with those cursed items, it's going to be a lot. Lapras also has a lot of healing, so already against the 3 most meta Pokemon, Cursed Bangle or Cursed Incense is going to be very good against. So very straightforward, also the 3 highest frame rate Pokemon right now. So Lapras heals a lot with boost auto attacks, Blissey heals allies, Recover Mewtwo heals a lot on basic attacks. That's already a very good start. Then we have Inteleon, which is alright, Mewtwo X has good healing, Umbreon has healing on Wish, Slowbro, apparently it doesn't work against Slowbro's passive. So against Slowbro's blue passive, it will not work. But still, it's going to receive healing from allies as well. Against Paladin's Venusaur, it's great. Against Ninetales, I mean, against Ninetales, it doesn't really matter, right? Ninetales doesn't really care. But again, it's also going to receive healing from allies. Zacian has low basic attack healing. Leafeon, it doesn't matter. Espeon doesn't really matter. Crustle doesn't really matter. Eldegoss, of course, against any healer, right? It's going to be good against every single support and healer Pokemon. Blastoise doesn't matter too much. Clefable, like as soon as the enemies have 1 healer Pokemon, these items are instantly gaining a crazy amount of value, right? It's very good against Trevenant. It's insane against Surging Strikes Urshifu. All those Pokemon will be, you know, they will struggle against this item, you know? Like this Pokemon right here. And I have too much high sensitivity. These arrows look terrible, but it doesn't matter. Lucario, Close Combat, Goodra. Goodra's gonna hate this item, right? Like Goodra's a Pokemon on Dragon Pulse, the passive Unite move that is going to be absolutely not having a good time with this item. Unstoppable effects also don't work against it, but you can full heal it. So if your Pokemon has full heal, you can actually remove the debuff from you. But again, it's going to be applied probably instantly afterwards again, right? So, because the apply, I don't think has really a cooldown. It can be applied quite often. It also works with Delphox Unite move. So Delphox can have 50 times 30%. So Delphox with the Unite move in one item can have 80% healing reduction as well. And there's also a thing where apparently they're not supposed to stack, but if you get hit by one of the physical in the special attack version, you take 60% less healing. Going to see how that turns out, whether that's actually really a thing or not. So it's going to be good against Comfy, right? The Comfy target just gets less healing, right? If you just hit the Pokemon that Comfey is on, you will also, the target just gets less healing from Comfey, so Comfey's value will also be much lower. Someone like Aquatail Azumarill is going to be much worse. Garchomp with the Lifesteal, Outrage Dragonite with Lifesteal, Mystic Fire, Draining Sylveon. And it's not going to matter on these Pokemon all too much, but it's still something, right? So all this healing will be reduced. Green Dot's also going to hate this item to be up against. So there's always a high chance for these items to get a lot of value, right? Let's talk about which items or like which Pokemon this also could be good on. So what do we want? We want a lot of AoE damage, right? And we also want to make sure that our Pokemon has an item slot open. It also works against Focus Band. So Focus Band is going to be much worse in this patch, which I'm very happy about because I hate being up against Focus Band. And just for this reason, I might actually play this item just to get rid of all these Focus Band players. Like something easy, right? Something very straightforward is someone like Ninetales, right? Ninetales has huge AoE. So hitting one Blizzard Avalanche on an enemy team comp will put all the debuff onto all of them, and they might just die in this combo much easier. So a lot of AoE damage. Gardevoir with Psyshock I think is going to love this item as well. Psyshock, Psychic will do absolutely a lot, and I think it's also very good on tanks. So someone like Slowbro, who's going to use Surf. If you surf into your opponents, guide into your opponents. Also these tanks, right? Like Slowbro, Lapras, Umbreon, they do have an item slot open. And also, if you reduce enemy healing, like you can maybe not go special specs on this Pokemon right now. Like you just don't go special specs, because your damage will be increased doesn't matter what, right? If a Pokemon receives less healing, it means it goes down easier, which means you also need less damage, right? So overall, the effect is much better, and you don't have to go for stacking. So on tanks, I think it's going to be very good. Mamoswine, you know, like any tanks, it can be very, very strong on. Someone like Paladin's Venusaur could be amazing with it. Woodhammer Trevenant, right? It hits an entire team with Woodhammers, insanely easy. The question is, how good is it going to be on physical attacker Pokemon? So these right here, right? I think it probably is going to be quite bad, just because you kind of need items. I think it could be fun on Razor Leaf Decidueye, because the Decidueye doesn't really need... I mean, there's Rapid Fire Scarf, but it's always like, is it really that useful? Maybe not, right? Stealth Rock Duraludon could be interesting, though. I do want to try it on Stealth Rock Duraludon. The question is, can you drop Muscle Band, Scope Lens, or Rapid Fire Scarf for it? That is the question, right? We have to be asking ourselves, because those are very, very strong items for all these Pokemon. So I don't think it's going to be all too great on these. So let's look at some all-rounders for physical attack. I think it's going to be good on Aegislash, right? It could be alright on Charizard, Muscle Band, Scope Lens, and this item could be quite good. Doing Unite move, the enemies have less chance of healing as well. You're just going to jump up into Unite move, you're going to use your Unite, you're going to auto-attack a lot. It's going to be applied on all the enemies that you attack. Quite decent. Lucario, I'm not sure, maybe could be fine on these. I probably wouldn't play it on these. It just depends if this item is really that strong, right? Machamp is alright, but I think it's most about Burst. Mewtwo X doesn't seem like a good candidate for it. Scizor could be alright, but you do lose a lot of damage, but it could be quite decent. Scyther, I mean, I think it could be good on Speedsters as well, right? Because the one thing you have against Speedsters is healing. Serena could be alright, but Serena does need a lot of damage. Azumarill could be alright. Buzzwole. I mean, Buzzwole has an item slot open as well. Sandtomb Tyranitar could be quite interesting. On Urshifu, I mean, on certain like Urshifu, if you have an item slot open, could be fine. And Zacian is a big question mark because you can only have 2 hate items on this Pokemon as well. But you can see, I think, across the board, there's going to be a lot of Pokemon where it's going to be good on. Support, Sableye. Sableye could be also a good candidate for it. That is for sure. Looking at Speedsters, I think Dodrio will not probably run this item. Leafeon could potentially run this item. Has a lot of ways of applying it as well. Unite move, Solar Blade, Razor Leaf, or Razor Blade can be a lot. Then we have Talonflame. Questionable, but could be fine. Zaora with Discharge could be fine. Zoroark could also be fine. But you have to drop an item for it. But I think it could be worth it, right? Absol, probably not the greatest. Special attack Pokemon. We don't have an all-rounder, right? So for attacker, I mean, Chandelure should be amazing on. Cram could be alright, question mark. Delphox could be very good on. Espeon Without power, Psybeam, Psyshock. Well, you have to drop like Vice Glasses or something. But I think you're totally fine dropping Vice Glasses if you do more damage in general, right? If the enemies have healing Pokemon, you're just going to be so much more effective. Glaceon, could be fine. Inteleon, I don't know. I don't think it's really a Pokemon for this item too much. You pretty much only have one Pokemon you hit, so you can't apply to multiple targets. It's going to be very good though. Of course, if the enemies have like a Comfey target or a Goodra target or something, right? And you just have one guy running into you that needs healing, then it's still going to be good on. Mew, I think it's going to be alright. You have big solar beams, Mewtwo Egg, Mewtwo Y, could be fine. Ninetales is going to be amazing for it. Pikachu with Thunderbolt Thunder could be pretty strong as well. Hyper Voice Sylveon could really like this item as well. And then Peloton, Solar Beam Venusaur could also use this item. So you can see, I think, and then all of these is can be also very good on. Even on Tank Blastoise, on Goodra. I think Goodra is also quite interesting because Muddy Water, right, has a lot of AoE. Lapras, Slowbro, I think, are amazing Pokemon for it. And then if you look at supports as well, like Eldegoss or like Hooper could also use this item quite well. It's, I think, going to be very good on these. I don't think you would ever use it. Mr. Mime could be a question mark, and Wigglytuff could also be a question mark. So yeah, these new items, of course, going to be a lot of testing. I just want to give you guys some thoughts of how you want to try them out. I'm not saying, you know, they could be very OP, they could also just be very mediocre. It just depends on if they're going to be outvaluing enemy items, right? Or like your other items. Are they better than Weakness Policy? Are they better than Vice Glasses? I think that's going to be the big question that we're going to have about these anti-healing items. But in theory, anti-healing is always very strong and can for sure see a lot of play. I just wish that we could see like 20 seconds before we load into the game, we could see the enemy team comp and we could adjust items, right? Like we don't need draft mode for this either. Just show us the enemy team comp for 10 to 20 seconds. Let us adjust 1 or 2 items during this time, and then it would be all good. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope it was helpful, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!